We are very careful online, and not just online when we create this online persona, no, also in the offline world. Back in the day meaning many decades ago, 30 decades ago, when you, even children, when you go outside and you mess up, you fall or you make a stupid mistake, then that's that. There was no one recording that moment, there was no one taking a photo of that moment, there was no one who would immediately text about that moment. But now a lot is being documented. If you make a mistake in the offline world, it can be recorded immediately, and what happens then is going to be shared online. So now we all are more vigilant when we are experiencing life online already, because we need to carefully craft this online persona, but now in the offline world as well. If we weren't, then that online version of ourselves is going to make us like that in the offline world. If we're constantly careful and with who we engage with, the posts, the comments that we leave behind, knowing that there's always someone who can comment something negative, then we operate the same way when we enter the offline world, and that is sad. Because then now when people go outside, can they actually really connect with people? Because in the online world, that's really hard. That's really hard. And it's easy to just show the best version of yourself by just texting about it or showing carefully crafted photos. But in the offline world, it's you. It's just you. You can't hide it. It's you who you have to now show and present. But in the offline world, it's hard now to find those moments of intimacy that we can connect on a deep level, on a meaningful level, because that's not what we're used to in the online world. In the online world, we have shallow conversations. It's all about, look at me, and oh, I like this about you, or I like your shoes, or I like your hair, and then the offline world, if we become so distant with one another, then we're going to become distant with one another in the offline world. So that's why you want to be careful to separate that online version from the offline version, or understanding that when you are not really yourself because you are careful with who you engage with in the online world, okay, but understand that in the offline world you don't want to bring those characteristics with you in the offline world, especially if you meet people you know or want to know better, because you have to show some level of vulnerability when you want to connect with someone. And that's not something we're used to do in the online world. Oh, definitely not. People can share about it, people can mock you. But in the offline world, we're careful now as well, because maybe, first of all, we're used to it. And maybe in the offline world, someone can comment about it or say something that we don't like, because now it's hard to hear something that we don't like. So it becomes harder for us people, especially the youngsters, to show a level of vulnerability, transparency. You have to be courageous, as Brené Brown says, to show a level of vulnerability, because you know that someone can take advantage of it. Someone might not reciprocate. Someone might not show that level of vulnerability after you did. And that's why you have to be courageous, because you're showing something of yourself. It used to be perceived as a weakness when you show vulnerability, but no. It's easy to hide yourself behind this mask. It's easy to be protected by this wall that you're also using in your online world. But you have to understand, this wall that you're creating for yourself is also blocking your blessings at the same time. So in order to deeply connect and have meaningful conversations and connections with people, you have to drop the wall. You have to drop the mask, the ego, and reveal a bit of yourself. Not everything, but just a bit. So learn to be more open, to be more honest, to be more transparent. And understand the difference when you have to be careful about what you're sharing and when it's time for you to open up a bit. In the offline world especially, because it's there where true connections are made. So be mindful about that. Don't be so close all the time. Don't allow yourself to let this wall that you're having online blocking your blessings in the offline world.